am I? This is something else.
Welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to another very exciting Spider-Man related video. Not specifically pertaining to Marvel's Spider-Man 2 or any of the upcoming films that is likely occurring within Spider-Man's pipeline in the MCU, but rather a general discussion about our favorite friendly neighborhood wall crawler and everything that makes this one particular item relating to the character so iconic amongst fans. And today I have a wonderful guest joining me today with the one and only Joseph Witty, who, if you don't know, covers a plethora of amazing content on his channel with a bunch of awesome reaction videos and is 100,000% going to keep you updated on everything that you need to know and are excited for with Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Wolverine, and any other upcoming awesome Marvel content that we are all looking forward to. Joseph, thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing?
Anytime, man. Everything's going great. Just busy, man. Let's make this content. Let's keep it going. Keep it going.
For sure. And for today's video is exactly that, about why this specific costume within Spider-Man's legacy is so iconic and interesting within the lore of Peter Parker's history, and now even with other Spider people, of course, with Miles Morales, even other characters within the Spider-Verse in general, like Spider-Gwen getting the symbiote as well, becoming a character like Gwenom. But overall, yes, the black suit within Spider-Man's wardrobe is without a doubt one of, if not the most popular suits that Spider-Man has ever worn within the comics, and of course how much it has expanded within, I would say, the recent years in modern media. One of the favorite Spider-Man games that I have a huge soft spot for is without a doubt Spider-Man Web of Shadows, completely diving into the intricacies and depth that the symbiote does for Spider-Man as a hero and the moral challenges he has to face in and out of that suit. And recently, of course, we have Marvel's Spider-Man 2, including Venom, and most likely going to include at some point Black Suit Spider-Man being a core factor of that game, given the fact that we have seen Harry Osborn with the symbiote on him in both of Spider-Man PS4 and Miles Morales' post-credit scenes. We obviously recently saw the Black Suit teased to be coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the very end of Spider-Man No Way Home, which is most likely going to continue on in the future of Tom Holland's Spider-Man franchise. We even have Venom's solo movies, with the first one in 2018, and recently Let There Be Carnage in 2021, completely focusing on only Venom as the main character of that entire story. So there is a never-ending amount of content relating to the symbiote that is going to completely satisfy Spider-Man fans who are in head over heels love with that particular suit. But I did want to ask you in particular, why do you think that this suit for Spider-Man is so memorable and iconic amongst the other costumes that we have seen him wear in the past?
I think the black suit in general, the symbiote suit, whatever anyone wants to call it, is very important because of the fact that it's really the fact that it changes Peter Parker in general, or any character that it attaches to. That's how I view it. That's why I love it so much, because we see a different side of that character that we know that's very, that's a certain way, or that's built a certain way, that's mentally a certain way, and they completely change. And that's what I love about it personally. And of course, it looks amazing. It looks cool. It's beautiful. And on top of that, it's just the fact that it just gives us a different insight or a different viewpoint of that particular character that is attached to.
Now, what I find very interesting about the black suit in particular is actually its origins and how it came to be within Marvel Comics, because most people don't seem to know this, or at least a very few amount of fans seem to actually fully understand where it came from, is that the black suit did in fact originate from a concept drawing of a fan of Spider-Man named Randy Schueller, and Schueller himself actually pitched the black suit as an original black and red Spider-Man suit design to give him a more stealthy and sleeker look, and suggested that the costume itself did have some very interesting incorporations, tying it to a character like Reed Richards and crafting the suit out of certain things like unstable molecules and how that all relates to the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man's relationship with one another. There's all these very intriguing amounts of starting points for where the black suit began as simply a costume design for Spider-Man just to look like he's wearing a cool new suit. But then over time, they obviously changed the design from being black and red to black and white, but also how the symbiote substance as a whole is so much more than simply just a costume. It completely alternates Peter Parker's personality, or in fact, anyone's personality who ends up wearing the symbiote, and how much that truly showcases the amount of depth that Spider-Man can have as a character, fighting his own moral quandaries as a superhero that truly wants to do good, but how that inner conflict truly arises within himself when he is influenced by that symbiote substance.
The thing that I see with the Venom symbiote is that, like, I view it as if it's a drug, because of the fact that when a person's on drug or addicted to drugs or anything of that nature, they don't even acknowledge the fact that it's something bad, or acknowledge the fact that, you know, it's not good for them. So, and that plays off of Peter or Eddie Brock or anybody that the symbiote is attached to, because they feel as if it's like a good thing at the end of the day, because they have so much power and they feel good about it. Sort of like Peter in Spider-Man 3. Like, he felt that he was like, oh, it feels so good. But at the end of the day, it didn't play out well in any way. It was bad for him. It was bad for the people around him. He couldn't control himself. So the same with Eddie Brock. Like, Eddie Brock, he already didn't like Peter Parker at all. And once he had the symbiote attached to him, he really didn't. He hated him, you know? It was even a bigger picture with the symbiote attached to him. He just didn't like Peter Parker at all after that, you know? But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is the symbiote and the black suit and Venom, everything about it is just, they have no control over themselves. That's why I think it's very important for me as a fan of Spider-Man, as a fan of the black suit, as a fan of Venom, as a fan of just the symbiote in general. I think it's just, you know, we just see a totally different side of that person. And we never seen that. We don't really see that a lot at all, you know, the other side of a person in real life or just in general. So that's what I liked about it, because it gave such a different stories in comics and in video games that we've never seen before in entertainment in general, really.
And I totally agree with that, because there are a lot more layers to explore and even expose when it does come to Spider-Man's relationship with the black suit, and eventually when that latches onto, like you said, another host like Eddie Brock or Harry Osborn or Matt Gargan or Flash Thompson, whoever it is, to create, in my opinion, the true antithesis of Spider-Man and his existence with Venom. I know a lot of people have that debate of who is the true arch enemy of Spider-Man. Is it Green Goblin because he killed Gwen Stacy? Is it Dr. Octopus because he's the true intellect superior of Spider-Man? And of course, that entire arc with Superior Spider-Man. But in my personal opinion, I've always been drawn to Venom as, in my eyes, the true arch enemy of Spider-Man, not just because of, obviously, he's a bigger and more evil-looking version of Spider-Man, but simply because of what, like you said, that influence of the black suit has onto Peter and the people around him, how it affects the relationships with those that he cares most deeply about, and how that's going to affect him down the line if he continues to let that substance get the better of him, and specifically how that affects him as Spider-Man. But Peter is such a kind-hearted person in and out of being Spider-Man that you never really see him deal with those innermost demons that he continues to face off against with the foes that he's also battling to keep New York safe, but also continuously struggling as Peter and Spider-Man simultaneously with making sure that he is being his best possible self. And if he's not true to himself, it's not going to allow him to be the best possible version of Spider-Man that he can be. And why I bring all this up is because that symbiote influence, that dark side of Spider-Man coming out in the light and seeing how that is going to truly impact him in possibly such a negative way that it tears him apart from the inside, is truly something that I love to see within Spider-Man stories, and something that I do wish that we actually saw more of in just modern media for Spider-Man. I mean, I'm very excited to see what they're going to do now with the black suit being included at the end of No Way Home, with the symbiote tease. I do wish that the Venom movies were a bit darker, kind of like I've brought this up in other videos, like the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, how that was a character study of that particular villain of Batman in a world without Batman. I kind of wanted those Venom movies to be that, but instead it was just more of like a fun comedic romp with Venom in the lethal protector state,
right,
as this anti-hero. But now, again, what we're getting currently in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, seeing Venom as one of, if not the main antagonist of that story, showcasing exactly how that he is going to tear Peter's world apart in such a intense way is going to be baffling to see as a Spider-Man fan, but more specifically, how the Black Suit's inclusion is going to impact Spider-Man's health, his relationships, and his overall status as Spider-Man, and how the people in the public of New York are going to view him if the Black Suit ends up influencing him in such a dark way.
Another thing that I was thinking about, and this pertains to Marvel Spider-Man 2, of course, if the symbiote attaches to Peter, which I truly believe will happen, I wonder how the relationship is going to play out between Miles and Peter. Like, are we going to see a fight between the two, which I'm praying to God that we do? Or is it going to go a different route that we don't know about or anything like that? I'm praying to God that we do see a fight between Peter and Miles, because I want to, and maybe we even see them fight and Peter's beating them so bad that he comes to his senses that he's going crazy. Or I just want to see the relationships that take place while he has the symbiote attached to him in the video game, because we know Insomniac's storytelling is incredible. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. That's random thought, but maybe we'll get to see that. And
with all that said, true believers, that is the video that Joseph, Witty, and I both have for you today, going in depth about Black Suit Spider-Man and why we personally believe this suit is so popular among Spider-Man lore and the fans that adore this suit equally. Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you have any particular favorite aspect or moment about Black Suit Spider-Man and or the symbiote that we did or did not discuss upon? And which element of the symbiote are you looking forward to currently within modern Spider-Man media? Is it Venom's inclusion in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, the Black Suit being teased at the very end of Spider-Man No Way Home, the comics, anything that you can think about, let us know. And I could not do this video without the one and only Joseph Witty joining me with it. Thank you so much, dude. I had a wonderful time.
Man, thank you. Anytime, man. It's always fun speaking to you about things in general, bro. So keep up the good work. Keep up the amazing work.
And with all that said, true believers, thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans, and peace out.